the
like
memory
gray
card
and it had,
slot.
like, little purple end, and it was like flexible.
It wasn't purple. It was green.
Wait,
Mine
you're
was
talking
purple.
about a mic? in
Yeah, it was a
Mario Party.
microphone.
I don't think I ever played Mario
You plugged
Party
into the
7.
GameCube.
Yeah.
It was a GameCube one,
Say
and
blow.
you plugged it into the fucking memory card slot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and you can like.
Yeah.
Bro, I remember there was like a chain chomp mode. You tell the chain chomp what to do. Go.
Yes,
Left. Right.
that was a good game. No, that had a lot of great games. Apparently, like purists love 2. 2 is their fucking favorite, and like that has the best games. But it's on the fucking 64, and Mario Party sucks with the fucking 64 controller. I should know. I played fucking 3. It was awful. Shit, I don't know.
Anyway, welcome to the podcast. We were just talking about some video game stuff while I was figuring out
You gotta say the podcast
audio.
name.
Oh yeah, we're called the Facecheck Podcast. This is episode 2.
No, we should
finished
do-
the 5th
okay.
week of the LCS.
I've been thinking we should do like a fucking theme song.
Okay.
No, like we gotta do like a
This is our
fucking theme song. It was
We
like
do a
face check, face check, face check. I don't know. Fuck.
Alright,
Like
you know what?
brainstorm.
I feel like
Shut
I
up.
think we should do this off pod, personally, as far as what we're gonna do for brainstorming. But anyway, we just finished the 5th week of the LCS.
Yeah.
We have some stuff to talk about. We have some upsets. We have some awesome games we want to break down for you. What did you guys think about this week of games?
Do you want to get that? Or...
Get what? No, I didn't take enough notes. I'm gonna start taking notes like
I
after
was
each
thinking
game,
about
so they
doing
can
that
have
Pop filter.
pop filter.
When the last time you said you're like you heard the.
I think that was.
I don't know.
I
Can
don't
you
think that's
hear
going to be a big deal with us so far from the. Well, of course they're going to hear it, bruh. It's whether or not that breaks the microphone and keeps skipping. Anyway, let's not talk about technical stuff. Let's talk about podcast stuff. Let's talk about how'd you guys like this week? What was this week like for you guys?
Fucking disappointing.
Yes. 100 Thieves.
Oh yeah. So
100
if you guys didn't
What the
tune
fuck?
into last week, which I don't blame you for because the audio was terrible, then you wouldn't have known that JR, who's across from me, by the way,
Yes.
he is a 100 Thieves fan. You know, this is his newest team from the bandwagon. It kind of shifted over.
No
Are you
fucking
hopping off? Are
bandwagon.
you hopping off this week?
No, it's not a bad. Well, first of all, I'm a C9 fan, so I enjoy
Of
watching
course.
100 Thieves play, but I'm a C9 fan at heart.
C9 fan at heart. Gotcha. Okay, so that's the next bandwagon. And the other fan, the less of a bandwagon fan, is just kind of a new to the LCS. My brother Josiah, who is to the right of me. How have you been feeling about these
I'm gonna
themes?
straight up declare I am a fucking One Honey Thieves fan.
So this week,
That is my.
it didn't conquer
Yes.
your.
It did not conquer anything because let's face it, like TSM's gonna like they start out slow and they come back up, and yeah, like they're a lot better now. But so yeah, that's gonna happen. I was very upset with the other
Well,
game.
100 Thieves lost to. Who did they lose to this week? It wasn't TSM. 'cause that was
No,
last
they
week.
played TSM last week, but we didn't.
Guardians.
We never talked about.
And Golden Guardians. That's another big thing to talk about. My favorite boys. As a Team Liquid fan, you know, I love everyone who's passed through the org, which basically means 95% of the player base in the NA LCS. But some of my favorite, most recent players, Lorlo and Matt. You know, finally picking up wins from my boys, the Golden State Warriors team, the Golden Guard. How did you guys think? What did you guys think when that?
First off, we didn't talk about Sunday last week. We never talked
Oh,
about
who
that.
cares
on
about
the
Sunday
phone.
last week?
Yeah.
Let's
I mean,
That's
Let's
still
see.
important.
We got
I don't
into
know,
it a
whatever.
We'll do a special episode if the people
All
demand
right.
it. If
Yeah.
our viewers
You get more than one
demand
view.
it.
We don't have any fucking viewers. Come on.
Okay. Yeah. So, what did you guys think about Golden Guardians pulling out the win, pulling out the W?
Would they play again?
They
100 Thieves.
they played 100
I know.
Thieves. Your
I
boys.
know. I know.
I think they won the picks and bans of the Champion Select. Like they won that. The LOI was genius. Like
Yeah.
freaking just took someday out the game. Nothing you can do, and then I don't know. Also, most of it was just 100 Thieves bad.
There's been a few Alawi pickers in the LCS. I think like Flaxish in Challenger and NA, and then in EU LCS, he used to pick it out pretty regularly. He was on a bad team, didn't do very well. But I'd like to see like top tier teams like try it out, because I know Quas tried it a little bit, but that was when he was on NRG, and that didn't really. That was also like a lower tier team. I'd like to see more Alawi because I think it's really cool. It's really easy to abuse tank champions in lane. It's really hard to abuse Alawi and like her weaknesses if you're a tank. And then especially it's like impossible to gank her. You can't gank Alawi, like especially past like 10 minutes because she's gonna ult and kill you both.
Yep.
Or do so much damage to you both that you have to flash out, and that's not good. Yeah, I mean, at least in solo queue, I always feel like I have to take like 3 or 4 people to even have a chance.
Or just kill her early if you can.
Then you have to have basically like a top lane champion, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. The Alawi wasn't the only thing. I think the contracts played way better.
Oh, yeah, the Camille was clean.
Let's give credit where credit's due. Basically, this is not 100 Thieves' fault. The 100 Thieves played as well as they have been playing for the past, 3 games. Which isn't at their top.
Yeah.
It's not there at their top, but it's good enough. And let's give credit where credit's due. Golden Guardians, yeah, all of them performed better. Every single one of them performed a lot better, and I mean, it was the week of upsets. It was the day of upsets, at least on Sunday.
Yeah, every team that was predicted to win
FlyQuest,
Yeah.
Shit, it was a crazy fucking game.
In every single game.
Yeah, it was TSM Clutch, right? No, that was Saturday. It was who was TSM against? Because
yesterday was TSM versus.
They were against a team, but I remember Team Liquid went out against Echo Fox. People were predicting Liquid. I was predicting Liquid. Didn't work out for me very well. But Echo Fox are, I think they're teams with Huni and teams with Dardoch. They start off really strong. They kind of peter out, and I think that it might happen for Echo Fox. I'm not gonna say it's gonna happen for Echo Fox because this is a very different team. I think people have been underestimating them a lot, and it's cool to see them succeed. But yeah, Liquid, we're not doing so well. I think. What did you guys think about the Liquid Echo Fox game? I think that was a big one this week.
Just Impact again. After he got dumpstered by Licorice, he still seems to be hungover over that.
Well, I don't think he got dumpstered by Licorice, but that wasn't the Echo Fox game.
No, what I'm saying.
I think against Huni he was fine.
Impact has been suffering overall, I feel. Just this whole week.
He's not looking like the dominating Impact like he used to.
He's not, definitely.
Yeah, I think... Well, I mean, when's the last time Impact looked like the dominating Impact? 2016 C9? That was 3 or 4 splits ago. That was 2016, right? Because he went to Worlds, off of that insane, Gnar performances, just solo killing everybody. But, honestly, he was basically switching out. He was duo 2-man top with Ray, and Ray was the one who was carrying. Impact was the one who was more defensive. And then here there was a hope because of the $1 million contract with Team Liquid, and also him playing a lot more carry champions in a tank meta. So he was playing GP the first few games. He was playing a lot of GP. And he was getting a lot of attention to his lane. Smithy was ganking him some. But I don't know. I don't have insane high expectations for Impact. I think he should be, a leader. Obviously, against Licorice, that was a massive disappointment. He got shit on, but
by his replacement.
I don't think his performance against Huni was terrible. I think it was it's Huni. You're not gonna smash lane against him. But I thought the one player I'm more disappointed in, if anybody, and I'm a little bit disappointed, Xmithy. I know it's kind of hard with Xmithy because, originally he was memed a lot. He, wasn't, the best, or most outstanding player. He was known for, missing Sejuani ultimates. He was known for, being really, sort of a tank jungler player. But then, carried or helped carry CLG to their first finals performance double lift, and then did it again with rookie players. And then, he wasn't really considered top tier again until last year with Immortals. I think might be too much for us. I think what I was expecting was the Immortals kind of Xmithy. But I think Team Liquid still has a chance of being a top team without Xmithy playing at Immortals level. I think Pobelter's picking it up. We have Double Lift, one of the best ADCs still, I think. We have Ole, who's like always been really good. I think, Xmithy's not playing great right now. We'll see how it goes, develops, but he really wasn't doing much.
Yeah, when I was thinking about like Team Liquid though, like, so who's gonna be their third guy? Like every team has like all the best teams of a guy. Like C9 has Jensen, or even like Sneaky. Then TSM has Bjergsen, but like Team Liquid has some like a lot of good players, but I don't see that one guy that are like, okay, this guy's gonna pop off.
What are you talking about? Double Lift?
Double Lift?
Double Lift?
Watch
Hello?
Double Lift.
I think the argument's been the split so far. The last few games I think have made the argument against this, but I think this split, people have been saying Pobelter's name more. There was an interview with Febivin and Power of Evil, and I know that Bjergsen has said the same thing in the past, that Pobelter's like not just like a good mid laner, but he's like one of the best mid laners in NA. I know Febivin and Power of Evil straight up said he's the best right now, like out of like Febivin, Power of Evil, Jensen, Bjergsen, like this is a big list, and these are like some of the top pros are saying Pobelter's like the best, and I think that's giving him too much credit. I think that he's on a strong team. I think he's always been like 5th or above in terms of like a mid laner ever since his like CLG kind of, it wasn't his debut, but it was his first like top tier team. I think that he could like, as we're I think the players to watch, I don't think we should be expecting Impact to pop off like he used to. I don't think that's what we should be looking for. I think we should definitely be expecting a little bit more out of Double Lift. I think it was one of these last few games, Cloud9 and Echo Fox, where I just felt like he didn't have a lot of room to do anything. I think it was he was performing okay in the Echo Fox game, but he had basically all the kills. But like he'd flash really early when Dardoch went in and Zac. He was really timid. I think that we could probably expect more out of Double Lift, but I think Pobelter is like the player to watch. Like if Team Liquid's gonna win this split, like not just like you place really well, but actually win, I think it's gonna be Pobelter.
Let's talk a little bit about FlyQuest.
Yeah, FlyQuest. They finally got
We got Flyback.
Yep.
And then they did an interesting move. In the second day, they decided, Stunt's been doing. How have you guys been feeling? Stunt's been doing pretty okay, pretty decent.
Average to below average.
Average to below average.
I have no
Nothing
opinion.
spicy from him.
Well, anyway, they decided something interesting. They decided to take their academy player JJ, who has never played LCS, and they decided, hey, we're going to swap him in for Stunt. And I think one of the interesting points was that, okay, if you're a bottom tier team or if you're a top tier team and you're subbing in players, that might not mean too much. That might just mean you're just, getting some stage experience. It might mean like you're trying for something. But FlyQuest is a team that's like vying for like that like 6 top like bottom 3 playoff spots, and the casters commented on this. It probably means that JJ is gonna be either coming in to replace Stunt, or they just don't have any idea who they're gonna run, because how many players have we seen coming through FlyQuest to play in the LCS the past, I think, 3 games? It's been Keen and Fly in the mid lane. You've had Shrimp and Onda in the jungle, and now you've had JJ and Stunt. I mean, I don't think this roster is ready to say, here's what our starting roster is. Which is interesting because despite that, pretty good.
Yeah.
Still not enough. Not enough. If they keep subbing out players like this, it's gonna fuck everything up for them.
No, but I mean, if they're keep subbing everything out right now, right, and they're still winning. They have an even record. I think they're tied for 4th right now, right? They're tied for 4th with TSM. TSM, Clutch, and FlyQuest, I think, are all tied. No, it's 100 Thieves and FlyQuest.
Yeah, 100 Thieves are like 4-4 now, right?
Yeah, so all those teams are tied for like a playoff spot, right? I think like if they stop subbing out players, if they find out what they want to play pretty soon, what do you think? This looks like it could be like a playoff team.
Make playoffs and then lose in the first round.
They need this,
which isn't too bad for a new team.
It's not at all bad. I mean, they're a new team, but they are a lot of veterans, which is I think it's kind of hard to say, like, losing in the first round is, like, super good. But getting to playoffs in a really competitive split is hard, yeah.
They bring back Fly, but is he doing anything really special? I feel like Wild Turtle really carried those games. My boy, Wild Turtle, was not doing well before, and then Fly comes back and suddenly, like, he steps his game up, and then Fly's all right. Like,
all right, but they're good enough to beat. Let's see, they've beaten who so far? TSM. They've beaten
100 Thieves.
100 Thieves.
Yeah, but look at those games, and those were some long games. Those were not easy wins.
100 Thieves was pretty.
Who did they lost this week too? Right, they lost to
Yeah.
Clutch, right?
Yeah.
And we'll talk about Clutch next. But I think that I don't know. I think FlyQuest with like a rotating roster, Fly's. I mean, he's not a top 4 mid
Nope.
in NA, but is he better than Keen so far? I mean, from what you guys seen.
Well, he's better than Keen, sure, but I
I
mean,
don't see much of a difference.
yeah, I mean, I'm not saying like get rid of him now because like no, you needed him. You need him to like he performs well, and he does seem to tie the team together. But like I think we should expect more from him.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I think there was a bad game from Flame too. We could talk about. He got absolutely smashed. I don't remember if that was last Sunday actually, or if that was this weekend. But
I don't remember this.
he's another player
Getting
who I think
smashed. I don't remember getting smashed.
really. Maybe I'm misremembering. I think it was like Impact was this week, and then I remember another game where Flame. Oh, you know what it was? It wasn't that he was getting smashed. He did like a teleport play. Did you remember?
Oh
seeing
yeah, I
this?
remember that one.
He teleported.
Oh yeah,
for
that was
no
there.
reason. This tilted me so
He
bad.
teleported
Actually.
into the
did he
jungle and
cancel
the
it?
top
Is that
laner.
what happened?
No, he didn't cancel it.
No, he
Oh.
didn't. No.
What
There
am I
was a-
thinking?
there's
I'm thinking of a
minion.
canceled teleport.
There was a bad cancel from Hanser in the TSM
Haunter,
game.
that shit.
But,
I want to talk about that.
He teleports to like a minion in the top wave, and then there's like 3 members of the enemy. I don't remember who they were playing, and then
It was
they just
Sejuani and
smashed
someone
them.
else.
Yeah, and it was like, what are you gonna do? What are you thinking, bud? It's like he just instantly dies, and he flashes too.
And he was Gangplank, right? So there's
He's
like,
Gangplank.
what are you
What are you gonna do? And he ults, and he flashes, I think, and he stopwatches. It's like everything blown, and he just dies.
Yeah, which is weird from Flame, because Flame is just usually safe. I'm gonna CS, leave me alone. But no.
And he plays, and he like escapes situations he shouldn't be able to escape. Yeah, they could expect more from Flame too. I mean, Anda's a rookie. He's been MVP for a few of their games, I think. Stunts, a rookie. I don't know what you could expect. Same for JJ. Wild Turtle's been playing good. I think that's enough for FlyQuest. But let's talk about. You said you want to talk about TS. Let's talk about TSM.
Well, do you want to
what
talk about
TSM?
Clutch, or I want to talk about both, but I want to talk about TSM. Is Hanser now shit? I don't know.
No, okay.
Shit.
You can't say that because he absolutely carried their first wins, right? In the second week, I think.
Sure, but the fucking look at recently, just fuck up after fuck up.
I don't know if it was fuck up after fuck up. He just like, I think he got what? Basically, he teleported weird. Like he teleported away from. He was trying to teleport away from the Gangplank. Gangplank can't CC him, but he's taking damage or whatever. But if he completes the teleport, he goes into the team fight. But he stays instead.
Okay, I'm saying team fights. He's fine. He's like, but here's the thing about these teams in these professionals is team fights are gonna go the way they go, right? But I feel like what we don't talk a lot about is their solo in lane performance, and Hanser keeps getting caught out. And he keeps dying. So it's that first laning. He sure
That's
he can
true.
keep up in
it was
CS.
the Fiora game, right?
Yeah, sure he can keep
That
up in
too.
CS, but like it seems like he's easier to catch out now.
Maybe. I mean, in a normal game though, you're not. You have your top laner they have to worry about, and then like the jungler, right? And you don't really have to worry about a Fiora coming to lane and chasing you down if you're not leaning against a Fiora. You know what I mean? Like, Fiora mid isn't really a normal CS situation. So, he's tracking the enemy team. He sees where the jungler is. He sees where the top laner is. I can push this up and get another wave. Oops, they have Fiora, and she's just gonna chase me for a million years until I die. I mean, he outplayed the first gank pretty well, and then he got killed twice, and TSM still won the game. So I'm not complaining about Hanser.
I think it's too reactionary to complain about Hanser because
We'll
I like to look at it through all the games so far, and Hanser's been playing well. I think to the bot lane still haven't built chemistry with the entire team yet. I think the bot lane is the weakest part.
Yeah, but might as well be shit in this league. You have to kind of.
But he's on
the only time you can be called good in this kind of game is if you're kind of in the top 3. It's very much because League is all about basically not being better than the other guy really, but two guys at equal level and then taking advantage of when the other one fucks up. It's not about good plays. It's about maintaining good plays and not fucking up. If you fuck up, that's what loses everything.
And you're saying Hanser's had
once.
Too many fuck-ups.
Too many to the point where it's going to start costing them, I think. That's my prediction.
But they're an average team. If they're winning and there's a fuck up, no one's gonna say anything. But it's because the rest of his team is playing poorly, and he's one of these top 2 players. He's gonna get some heat for it, but he's not used to having players like this that aren't super good carries they were last year, double lift and stuff.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, sometimes I think there's a mistake. Cloud that's moving its way across the positions of TSM. The first few weeks, it was sitting on Bjergsen, and Bjergsen's sitting in mid lane and clearing waves, and then his laner roams and gets a kill, and he's like, oh, guess I die. And it's just and then that moves to the bot lane for the next few weeks where Sven's just walking around and he gets insta kill, and he's like, well, guess we lose the team fight. It's and Mithy doing the same. I think the first week actually Mithy was making all sorts of weird mistakes, and he was saying so on social media and everything. But then Mike Young from last week and from a little bit on Saturday, that was the game where Clutch basically won because Apollo kept stealing Barons and Dragons and everything. Mm-hmm. And it was because Mike Young wasn't smiting correctly, right? So it's you have to wonder it seems you can say, okay, everyone's making mistakes. Making mistakes in League is bad. TSM's bad. Or you could say, hey, the only reason TSM's losing games is because individual players who are usually playing, on the average of all the games that we've seen so far, are playing at a very high level, are in individual games at different times, messing up really critically. So maybe our temptation is to say, okay, TSM's not very good, or these players aren't very good, but maybe the correct inclination is to say, when they start eliminating these mistakes, when they start realizing what the correct play is, when they start being more comfortable with their style and playing together, maybe they're the best team. Because, in some of these games, you see big mess ups from one player, but if he wasn't messing up, they'd have smashed or something like that. Clutch against Clutch.
Yeah, Clutch, if they hit all those smites, then
Clutch wouldn't have had a chance, right? Yeah. Anyway, that's a good segue. Let's talk about Clutch. What you like about Clutch this week, other than Paulo's skill shot accuracy?
I think I said last week they need to play more defensively, and if they do that, they can be a really good team. It's almost like they immediately thought, that's exactly what we got to do.
We know our listeners now.
They listened to me. They took my advice.
Clutch Gaming.
Oh, I made it big.
I mean, their Twitter account has about as many followers as we will probably ever get.
They're playing defensively, and that's what's winning. I think that's what's won them games recently. I think they're a good team. They're okay, and I think they can get better, and I think they are going to get better. Definitely. They have a good roster, and yeah, that's my opinion on it. I think they're going to get better. And maybe they're not going to place top 4 this split, but next split maybe?
I think they can place top 4 this split. Who else is there to stop them? We have, for me, it's the obvious top 3 is TL, TSM, Echo Fox, right? Like they're gonna be there.
C9.
Oh, sorry, I
Second
forgot
best.
C9. Who's not there? TSM's not there, so it's TL.
High Thieves is up there.
In top 4?
Top
Top
4.
four,
Yes,
yeah.
top 4.
Fuck
Top
you.
4.
Probably.
Top 4.
No, it's C9 for sure. C9
Yeah,
Echo
definitely.
Fox. We'll talk about C9 too. I forgot about them. C9, TL, Echo Fox are like the top 3, and then top 4. It's like who's the 4th place team? It's probably TSM, but I could see it being Clutch. I could see it being 100 Thieves. I could see it being FlyQuest. Right? Like to me, it's like those are the 4 teams that are like right outside and breaking in. And I know that's how the standings are, and it's really easy to like base your analysis on the standings. But it really does feel like these 4 teams are like close and inching in. I think if you're a betting man, you bet on TSM. I think if you're looking at the rate of change, you're looking at Clutch, right? But then if you're looking at like the highs of the season, you're looking at 100 Thieves because when they were playing really good, they were playing smarter than any other team in the league, right? They were playing on side lanes. They were, actually playing towards their strengths. They weren't falling into the traps of like what the enemy team comp is going to do. Because, analysts have talked about this, and it's one of my favorite points to bring up, is there's playing towards your win conditions, right? Like looking at what your champions can do, what you're going to do to win the game. But then there's also looking at what the enemy team's win conditions are and knowing what traps they're going to lay for you and what they want to do and not doing that actively, right? Because it's like if my win condition is like I can split push, I can team fight to win the game, or I could go late game, right? If like I have all those options available to me because the situations of the game, but the enemy's team comp needs to win a team fight, then what do? I don't fucking team fight, right? 100 Thieves were playing like that. I loved that they were playing like that. They were like denying enemy win conditions. That's my favorite thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I think
Agreed.
I think that like I think the only teams right now that don't seem like they can't be playoff teams are like Golden Guardians, Optic. I don't think they can be playoff. You're right.
They're getting better though.
I like their rate of improvement.
It's crazy. Both of those teams, Clutch and Optic, seem to have this room for improvement, and they're meeting those requirements. They really are. Although I think Clutch will go farther than Optic.
I mean, it's hard to say that too because I think that like Optic have been a little bit unlucky and haven't picked up some wins they could have definitely picked up, and then Clutch have been a little lucky. Like I don't think they should have won against TSM, right? Yeah. They really shouldn't have.
I disagree. I think that they played everything right there.
No, because you remember like the Baron steals, right? And the Dragon steals. If those don't happen, which they shouldn't happen, right? If everyone's playing okay and Mike Young isn't like, in his own world, right? Then he smites the Baron, Ezreal doesn't get a steal, and TSM win.
Remember what I said, this is how I view the game. If the ones who deserve to lose are the ones who are fucking up. If you're consistently good, if you're consistently playing right, then you're going to beat the guys who fuck up.
When I say deserve, though, I don't mean that they didn't earn it, right? I don't mean that. I mean, like, does it really show you how good they are? Like, if TSM Clutch play 10 times, TSM win 7 or 8 of those.
Yes, I say it does, because those who are good are just the ones who don't fuck up.
Well, at the end of the day, like, what we're worried about is playoffs, right? Getting the win in playoffs. Playoffs aren't going to be best of ones, right?
No.
So yeah, that's not going to work every time against TSM, like getting lucky smites, and then like I don't know. I feel like people eventually are going to figure out what's her name? Not Houston.
This is a quality podcast,
Clutch.
people.
Clutch.
We can't even remember these fucking names.
Yeah, they're not memorable, dude. Oh yeah, so Clutch. For people are going to figure it out, all they do is okay. We'll give them early game. We'll like turtle into late game, and then we'll carry with Febvin on a late game scaling champ and stuff. Like people are going to figure that out. Eventually, people are going to figure out okay. After I win a team fight, I'm not going to back and buy items. I'm just going to keep pushing down so they don't have a chance to come back.
That's true. And you know what's so funny to me about that is that like, Clutch are kind of like the successors to Envy from last year, right? But Envy's whole MO is the whole other thing. They were like, let's smash them early game, do nothing mid game, and lose, even though we really should have won. Unless we're against TSM, in which case we just smash them. And it's like, okay, they're just like totally reversing that now. It makes sense. The one thing I want to mention about like the comparison of Envy and Clutch is like I think Apollo's playing about as good as he used to, and he's still playing good. Hakuho is like also still like one of the most underrated supports. He's playing really well. I think Lyra's had this massive drop off though. Like he's been like, I don't know if he's been playing bad, but he just the standard that we had from last year was like, okay, this guy's one of the best junglers in the league, one of the best junglers in the West, right? Like this guy's stuck in elo hell. Like he carries this team to playoffs, like as basically their in-game leader, their carry, and their coach. Like he's ridiculous, right? And then this year, what I feel, I see him like getting one shot by Syndra every time that he walks in.
Does it matter though? It feels like this meta doesn't really favor junglers anymore.
That's true. It's true.
Like even though I mean you can excel beyond that, like fucking Meteos and fucking like a lot of junglers are like
Dardoch.
Breaking that. Dardoch definitely,
Mm-hmm.
And they can go beyond that, but like I mean that it all depends on champions. Like if you're playing Sejuani, sure, but I mean you can't play assassin champs anymore, so a lot of those junglers are gone. And and that's how you used to play jungle.
But I mean, like Dardoch is finding ways to carry even without his typical champions. Like he never played Zac before.
That's true.
And what's the meme right now?
Exactly.
It's, if you're playing Echo Fox, you ban Zac. It's like
Right.
he's just absolutely monster carry on that champion. It's like, well, some people are finding ways. I think that the criticism isn't that Lyra is bad now.
No.
I think the criticism is he didn't go out of his way this season to find a way to be more effective.
Well, my argument is that you don't really need to. I feel like Lyra can do better, but does he have to do better right now? Is that what's going to win?
If he wants to, I mean, yes, I think that like you're talking about like surrendering early game, waiting for a scaling, and Febiven to carry, right? Like that worked against TSM because they didn't get the Baron steals, right? But like one of the key reasons that Clutch was so behind in the early game was because they weren't, they didn't have a jungle presence, right? Like he was just on Skarner, like farming creeps and getting behind, right? Like he wasn't doing anything to like make practical plays. He wasn't and part of that's actually who he's picking as a champion. But I think. Well, I think that he could definitely be doing better. I think that that's something that's gonna come with time.
Yeah, he can be better. I just think a lot of the junglers, they're doing all right. I don't see anybody in the jungle except for Xmethy who's really sucking.
Yeah, that's true. Really? Because like Acadia hasn't been playing.
I'm just fucking with you.
You're just messing with me. I got you. So I think Clutch could definitely be this top tier kind of team. I want to talk about who do we think is like the best. Who are the best at each position is what I'd like to know. Like, because last week I was actually coming up with
for
my
Clutch
little list.
Or
no,
just overall. Well, let's talk about Optic first. I guess we kind of talked about Optic.
I think Optic's improving.
Yeah,
do you have something to say about Optic? Because I'd like to hear.
No, I was hoping somebody else would.
I got nothing to say about
it. The thing is, they did a really good job the game that they were against CLG, where CLG was basically like diving Zig like 5 or 6 times.
Oh yeah,
just getting kills because like Zig knew like he had just to play defensive, he had to live, and he did that more often than not. He got killed, but he returned. He got a kill return.
He got flashes.
He got flashes.
All wasted. And
like Optic just got to mid game with Kalista, and they were able to just push through and smash. And I think that's. I think they also had Galio that game. Like that was like you hit the mid game, you're ready to smash, right? And it's like they did that perfectly. I was like really happy with that. I just think I think that they're playing smart is the main thing. I think that Power Eagle's playing just as well as he always has. Arrow is actually kind of returned to his form where I think Arrow's in a really good meta. I'll say this about Optic. I think Arrow last year was really sad because the first split he's crushing in lane and out of lane, right? Like he's not like winning lane. He's not like smashing people in lane, but he's getting through lanes he shouldn't be getting through, and then he's winning in team fights. And then he gets MVP for that split, and then the next split he's like the worst ADC in the freaking world, right? I think this meta suits him because right now in ADC, with stopwatch, with overheal, with fleet footwork, it doesn't really feel like you're getting kills in the bot lane much, right?
You're not.
So I think like him playing stuff like Kalista, like, and you know these like mid game spike champions, let's team fight. I think that it's really suiting him. I think he's excelling, and when. Right now, we're seeing Lemonation, and we're seeing Zig, and we're seeing Acadian kind of step up to Power Vivo and Arrow's kind of standard. And if that continues, yeah, I think they could sneak into playoffs. I don't think they win in playoffs. I don't think. Well, the thing is, I think
they win in playoffs.
We were talking about playoffs earlier. I think when it comes to playoffs, like when I'm talking about like standings, I'm really only talking about who is getting there, right?
Yeah.
Because like. We know it's gonna we don't know who's getting into playoffs in what place. I think that's in a best of one setting that's erratic. That's hard to predict. It's gonna be weird, right? Mm-hmm. It's weird just to have Echo Fox there. They're there for sure.
Yep.
I think it's gonna be strange. I think when we talk about who's gonna win in playoffs, it's a lot easier. It's like if TSM wins, they'll get to finals. Like if they get to playoffs, they'll get to finals.
I see
C9 as a finals team. Definitely. I think Echo Fox is a semifinals team that probably loses in the semifinals to either TSM or Cloud9, right? And then I think Team Liquid's the same. Like they either get to semis, they put up a good show, but they aren't able to beat like Cloud9 TSM, or they make their first finals appearance, and I think that's fine. But when we're talking about teams like 100 Thieves, we're talking about like unless they get or Clutch or FlyQuest or Optic. Unless they get a really privileged matchup, like unless Optic are up against Clutch, right? Or something weird like that, then I don't really see like one of these teams getting a best of 5 victory. So yeah, I it's kind of how I feel. Anyway, let's rank think in your head ahead of time. We're gonna go through. Think about do you think the best top laner in the league right now, and then think about that, and then we're gonna think about jungle. Make sure you have somebody in your head. As I'm saying it, it's kind of hard to think of and also talk.
I mean, you're putting me on the fucking spot right here because I can't remember a lot of these guys. Remember, I'm fucking new to this shit.
Let's do let's do a nomination thing and then kind of like a agreement thing afterwards. Okay, so right. Top lane, who are we gonna nominate? Licorice is who I was thinking.
Probably
I don't
Licorice,
think he is,
yeah.
But that's a nomination for sure.
For sure.
I'm gonna put Hanser in there. I know that this weekend was a little bit rough, but I think the previous weeks he was, pretty insane the way he was carrying when his team was behind. I think that he has looked really good. Who else do we want to talk about?
Top lane?
It's hard because top lane's usually in NA like one of the more stacked roles. But I feel like there's been so many people who've been like playing below standard that it's hard to say because Darshan hasn't been playing very good. Someday hasn't been playing super great.
Yeah.
Hanser's, he hasn't dropped off from last year, but he hasn't been super impressing.
I'd say Licorice is performing the best right now. He really is. Wait,
Huni. Of course Huni's the best top laner in the NA right now. He really is, isn't he?
I think so, Licorice.
Really?
I would say so, too.
I think Licorice looked really weak, though, in the first 2 weeks, though. I think you have to, when I'm talking about, a list of, who is the best right now, right? Huni's been behind, and he still won. He's been ahead, and he's transferred that lead to others. He's used that lead to smash the other opponent.
I don't see him doing Huni plays, though, right now. I feel like he's a good supplement to the team right now. He's working with them in team fights. He's doing what he needs to be doing. But is he getting those Huni plays? No.
But isn't
Licorice is making new plays. He's fucking ahead of the game.
But playing safer is... in top lane, at least, I think that's the virtue, right? Because Licorice is probably going to be in a game. I'm calling it right now. He's going to be in a game against a top laner who's not even very good. He's going to be in a top lane against Lorlo or Flame or Zig, and he's going to go aggressive, do some stupid shit, and he's gonna get absolutely smashed. And it's just gonna be because he's playing too aggressive. Like, I think he's been playing good, and I think he is like second right now. I just don't see that lasting.
I think Hooney's not playing it aggressively enough, and Licorice is.
But he's been playing,
and you
like,
want
game
that
playing,
as a
like,
top
all
laner.
game playing,
Vlad.
right?
He's been playing Vlad. Even
Vlad,
But it's
I guess.
fucking working,
But he's been actually
dude.
beating
It's
people in
fucking
lanes.
working.
He's winning in the meta, and that's really important. Playing the meta champs and winning with them. So Licorice has been doing that.
I guess so. Okay, I'll if you both are saying Licorice, I'll concede to it.
He's
I'm just
making
talking about,
game
like,
play
currently,
work.
Like right
that
now, currently,
that takes
he's
a
the
great
best
player.
Okay.
If we're talking about like overall, then
Who's
I
playing
even
the
put-
best? Is the question.
It's Licorice right now.
Okay.
Overall,
concede to
I
it.
probably put
We're talking
Hanzo Mooney
about
over him just because they have a track record.
Yeah, if we're talking about historically, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I'll take Licorice for right now. Jungle. This is another hard one, actually. I think it's all really hard until we get to the later stages, I think.
Again, I think I already talked about this, but I don't see anybody doing anything special, and everybody's kind of every jungler is suffering just because of the meta, and I see Meteos doing
I think
well.
Zach's doing... I think Dardock's doing insane.
I'm gonna say
I said
Dardock.
Zach. Because it's literally what Dardock's been doing. But it's not just Zach. He's getting Zach bans against him. He's pulling out these tank champions and, like, these, like, really good, like, ideas. And he's carrying. Like, you know... You talk about like Hooney playing safer. I think it's often because Dardock's taking more of the aggressive side. I think that he's like kind of being that person who's going in, who's getting help. I think he's like not only is I think he the best jungler right now. I think he's like starting to shape up to like if he keeps this up, like an MVP candidate, like really really good player.
He's definitely the most valuable to his team. Like I'd also say Dardock, but I'd say Echo Fox relies heavily on him. Like if
They do.
If Dardock,
Every single
if
team.
Dardock makes a Dardock play, like if he starts acting like old Dardock, where he's making stupid aggressive plays, and that team's just gonna collapse. But right now he's playing well, and they're winning, so we have to give him all the credit.
But they're also
He's the
helping him.
best.
Like not only like you'd expect Phoenix and you'd expect like Adrian and Altec to like come to Dardock and like help him make aggressive plays and like supplement him. But like even Hooney's doing that. So it feels like this is a team that's putting a lot of faith in Dardock. Looking historically, I don't think Dardock's ever really collapsed in a situation where he was still getting a lot of help. I think it was mostly in situations where like people were failing to help him, like on Liquid and on Immortals. I think, and on CLG even. Well, on CLG, I think he left more because he wasn't being allowed to make those aggressive, crazy plays. But I think, I'm thinking Dardock. What do you guys think?
Yeah, Dardock.
I still say Meteos, but you guys can have Dardock.
Meteos-
No, Dardock's doing great, but I see Meteos as doing special
I
shit.
just think like Dardock
What's
is
he
working
doing?
so well for this.
He's
meta.
like farming and he's ganking early, and then he's like relieving pressure on Silent, which is smart. It's good. It's what he needs to do.
Exactly.
But he's at least the last 2 weeks.
But
he's
that's
been
the
getting
meta,
caught
is what
out.
I'm saying.
He's getting outscaled by enemy junglers.
Okay, that's
he's
true.
not doing anything.
That's true, but that's not
This
so
is like
much.
a right now.
That is
performance.
not so much his fault as it is.
Whose fault would you say it is? Is it Prawley's fault? Is it? I guess it's Cody and Afra's fault.
It's Cody and Saffron's fault. It really is.
But even so, sometimes you're on a bad team and you can't make
not
the
a
good
bad
performance. Right?
They're not a bad team. They're just they've been really bad.
I know, but
just
sometimes you
this
can be a
week.
great jungler
Just
on a bad
this
team, and that means that you don't perform well, right? And it's not because you're bad.
But I'm saying he's not the one who's not performing well.
I know, but I'm saying
it's
the
Bob.
performance he showed me in the last 2 weeks is not great. Maybe that's not his fault, but it's not
still not
great.
great.
Also, Ryu is not doing well.
I mean, you're just comparing that to how well he did in the first 3
That-
weeks.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, of course.
But like, I think having expectations for Ryu is like good or bad. Like, is just wrong. Like, I think
All right,
he's just
well.
gonna perform based on like however he's feeling, and it's hard.
All
to
right,
predict.
all right. I'll go fuck myself.
Yeah, absolutely go. I'm just kidding. Is it Dardock?
Yes, Dardock. He's playing the meta. The meta's really working for him because like even if he makes a mistake, there are no like jungles out right now where they can just punish him for it.
Mhm.
So he's winning.
What about mid?
Jensen.
Yeah.
Stats back it up.
Jensen? I was prepared to make the argument for Pobelter. I think this week has been I'm a little bit lower on Pobelter than before. I think who am I gonna make the counter argument?
You're
for?
gonna make the argument for Bjergsen, and we all know.
No, I don't think so. I think that Bjergsen is still probably the best, but like not in the sense that he's performing the best. In the sense that like he's the best mid laner. He needs to start showing it more. Because the only thing I remember him doing this weekend is like ulting Lyra, right? Like,
and that wasn't hard.
It's like that wasn't hard. I think that I also want to make a small argument for Phoenix. Maybe we don't pick him, but I think that his performance has been really good this split. I think obviously he's massively in the meta, right? Like his it's basically Azir, Ryze, Cassio, and those are his 3 champions, right? Like, you know, it's hard to ask for a better meta from Phoenix, and I think that is part of why Echo Fox is doing so excellently. And Phoenix is right now, at least at our performance level, I think he's looking top 4. From a mid-lane perspective, it's like, you know, him, Jensen, Pobelter, and a little bit of Febvin, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't because he's so favored from the meta, and it's not like he's performing at a Jensen level. I'll give it to Jensen. I like Jensen.
He's just kind of I mean, they're all. The thing about Cloud9 is they're all amazing players, and they're all working together so well. But Jensen definitely stands out among them. Sneaky, not so much nowadays.
Licorice had amazing players.
Yeah, it is.
How many games did they?
Let's move on. Let's move on. We agree on Jensen. Okay, bot lane.
Okay.
ADC.
Let's talk about ADC.
ADC is, I think, one of the tough ones.
That's a tough one. Especially because of how like non-laning focused it's been. Mm-hmm. Obviously, there's always an argument for Sneaky. I think Sven's been performing better this last 2 weeks, but I don't think it's still enough. Mm-hmm. Double F's been performing really well. It's hard to see games where he's like truly carried. Like really, TL's wins I think have mostly come off the back of like Pobelter, Ole, and then a little bit on Double F, right? I'm
gonna say Sneaky, probably.
Yeah,
it's probably Sneaky.
I don't like saying Sneaky though because he also has the best support. In LCS.
I'll make the argument for Apollo. I think Apollo's been really good. I think Apollo's like had some great games.
You just like that.
What about Wild
You
Turtle?
just like the
Turtle Apollo. Those are good candidates.
Yeah.
Turtle
for
again.
Best.
He's not best.
It's still wild cards.
No, we're talking about best.
It's just too boring to just say Sneaky, so we'll put other names in there.
Okay, we talked about everybody. Yeah. Arrow is I think pretty good too.
I think we just said the Arrow's not doing good.
No, we just said he's doing good, but he was bad last split.
Yeah,
sure.
I think
he's not doing well enough though.
Really. I mean, no, he's not. He's 2 wins, but
I mean, most teams are. And look at everyone's record right now. Everyone's like at 500 or below.
I think Sneaky. We'll go Sneaky. Yep. Support. Now this is an interesting
Another C9.
You think Smoothie?
Definitely. Have you
really? I mean, yeah. I
get
why you're saying Sneaky.
Wait.
I get why you're saying Smoothie. Hakuho is my counter.
No, he had a good week this week.
Not just a good week. He's had every single game. He's had really good performances.
Changes games more than any other support I've seen.
Okay,
the way he roams the top.
You're too right.
I can't believe you're.
Hakuho is my best that I'm putting out there. I mean, Ole I think has been decent too. I think that last year Ole was actually more like the Smoothie type player, where he was changing games more than anybody else.
Yeah.
So the fact that we're not seeing that as much, I think, is kind of sad.
But this year is for support. Most support players for this split have been doing pretty well. Like none of them have been really failing miserably.
That's true. I think even on Golden Guardians, Matt has
been
really
Matt's
well.
Not bad.
And Lemon has been the only one who I think has been kind of not.
Aftermoon's disappointed me, but he's not
this week
doing terribly.
But the first few weeks of the split, I think Lemon was really bad.
Yeah.
I think there was weird champion picks too. I think not like weird in the Lemon sense where he picks like random shit. I mean weird in like it didn't really make sense for like the game or the matchup, and you don't see him doing much. So I think it's mostly like the weird Ornn picks. I think that like some teams are smart and they know when to pick Ornn support. I think most of the time I'm seeing it from these lower teams. I'm just confused.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's it. Who do you think's gonna win the split?
C9.
C9. I wanted to say Echo Fox, but I don't think they can keep it up. I really don't.
I think TSM wins the split. I think.
Yeah, but you say that every year.
I mean, no. Well, every year they win.
That's not a good argument.
Okay, there's a few reasons I lack faith in Cloud9. Not that I don't think they're really good right now. I think they are. I think I don't really have faith in Svenskeren to consistently perform. I don't have any faith in Licorice. Everything is speculation, I think, for Licorice. So no faith at all. My faith in Jensen is that he's going to perform very well up to critical moments. I think he fails a lot in critical moments. He's never won LCS in EU or NA. Cloud9 has won, I think, how many titles? 2 titles? 4 finals? Jensen has never won LCS. And then, of course, I have a lot of faith in Sneaky and Smoothie, but I think that when it comes to TSM, I think Hanser in the playoffs is going to be a very good player. He's going to be top tier, top of his game. I think that Bjergsen is obviously as well. I think Sven and Mithi have always been a team that struggles in lane and then absolutely annihilates people in mid and lane, right? And I think against the competition and in this meta, I think that if Mike Young, which I have a lot of faith that he will, he's getting steadily better every week. He like this week he had a problem with Baron steals, but I think outside of the Baron and outside of objective secures, he was playing really good, which is one of the reasons why they were ahead so early. I just think TSM's probably gonna smash not just this split, next split, and I think they're gonna do a lot better at Worlds too.
This is why Cloud9's gonna win. Go Queasy.
Cloud9's gonna win because they've just been playing consistently, and now people are like, I know it's just the beginning of the season, but it's still like 8 games so far.
They'll be in the finals, I think.
Yeah, so
I think it's hard to imagine them not in the finals.
You're putting a lot of like your bet into the fact that the TSM's gonna all come together and have great chemistry by the end, but we don't know how that's gonna work out.
I think it's hard to like not believe in them. Like, when's the last time TSM didn't win LCS? Last time was in spring 2016 when they had just put together a brand new roster. They kicked everyone from the team but Bjergsen. They got brand new player Hanser, brand new player to NA Svenskeren, brand new player to the team Doublelift, and Yellow Star, right? And that team of 5 ended 5th place in the LCS. The regular season was bad. It was really bad, right? They go into quarterfinals. I forget who they play against, but they beat them pretty easily, and they go into semifinals against Immortals. That team, do you remember the 2016 Spring Immortals?
Yep.
Huni, Rainover, Pobelter, Wild Turtle, and who was their support again? Adrian. And they were smashing. They looked like the number 1 contender. Yeah. TSM beat them 3-0. This was Yellow Star, the guy who retired the very same split, right? Like, we're looking at the most recent bad performance from TSM, right? And they got to the finals and lost in a 5-game series, right? This is the worst TSM's done in 2 years. And that was with the same situation, except this time TSM kept their 2 best players, Hanser and Bjergsen, right? And they replaced them all with also like very like kind of like, is this gonna work? Are they gonna come together? Are they gonna be able to work out? TSM has never missed a finals appearance in the history of the franchise. I think that's 6. Is it 6 years of LCS? 5 or 6 years of LCS.
6 years, I think.
And they've never missed a finals. I think that TSM will be in the finals. I think it'll come together. I think then you're looking at, okay, TSM versus either Echo Fox or C9, right? In the finals. Or TL, right? I don't think TL is too difficult to imagine, but it's also maybe not as easy. I think if they got there, they brought it together. if they brought it together, look at this team. Look how scary that is.
I think a lot of what TSM has been having to deal with is basically just Cloud9. They're their main rivals. They're kind of have been their only real obstacle going forward all these years. But now we've got Echo Fox. Echo Fox is on par, maybe not as good, but on par right now with Cloud9. That I see it. I definitely think it's possible that they'll get to finals. I think it's maybe even definite they'll get to finals. I don't see them beating Cloud9 this year.
I don't know.
Rookie top laner. Get shit on. The meta changes. No more carry tops. You don't see that happening? You don't see that?
I don't.
Okay.
We just saw the New England Patriots. The New England Patriots, after 20 years of terror in the NFL, just lost. So, it could be this year for TSM to finally drop off.
Okay, fuck League. Let's talk about Overwatch.
Let's record another podcast for Overwatch. Anyways, great talking to you guys. This is a fun thing to record,
We're having fun.
Cloud9 fan, 100 Thieves fan, Liquid fan, basically all bandwagoners, except for me, who's been around for way too long.
And me.
So, anyway, congrats on getting to the end. Thanks for watching. We'll put these up, I think, every Monday night. Should be going up. If I can get it correctly edited, this might be a Tuesday when this is coming out.
Just stop listening. Why are you doing? You're wasting your life.
Absolutely.
Jesus Christ. Go fucking... Why are you watching esports?
Please like, comment, and subscribe to our channel.
But smash that motherfucking like button.
Okay, this Facecheck channel, make sure not to Facecheck, and if you do, make sure it's on our video. Thanks, bye!
Peace!